Do you know ball?
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 Do you know ball? Episode 29. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the DYKB podcast. I am one of your hosts, Matt. I'm joined here with Zachary Pappenberg. We got a great show for you guys here tonight. I'm back for those that did watch the last pod, not on vacation anymore. I got my equipment going to be a little bit more professional, but once again, thank you for the support and everything. We have a bunch of different genres for you guys today, so skip around if you're looking for something specific. We have three topics today in the MLB setting. We have something in the NBA setting. We even have NFL is making a return with this season around the corner. And we're going to tie that NFL topic directly into a little bit of a debate we have about Noah Lyles, which obviously is the thumbnail, the name of the video. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And stay to the end if you want to hear about Noah Lyles, or you can skip, whatever's up to you. But before we get into this first topic, I'm going to just kind of glaze a little bit. Okay, Zach, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm perfectly ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear. I want to hear it.
Yeah, third time's the charm on this one, but I'm gonna glaze. I'm gonna glaze him so hard because we're talking about Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is the best hitter since Barry Bonds, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Name a player that's been as good as Aaron Judge since Barry Bonds. Can you? You can't.
You can't. There's no other player that is better than Barry Bonds or even comparable than Aaron Judge.
Hmm.
The dude is insane. I'm gonna pass the reins back to you because I know you want to get into it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I was gonna sit here and talk about all of his stats and everything this year, but I don't even have to do that because there's gonna be some Bobby Witt Jr. truthers to try and push that agenda on me. But I know just whatever Bobby Witt does the rest of the year is just not gonna be anything comparable to Aaron Judge. He has the award locked up. I don't even need to say the stats because I think it would be stupid to do so. He's just undoubtedly the MVP. He should have his third MVP award. 2017, little asterisk next to that. Already got his other MVP award by breaking the AL home run record, Roger Maris's record. And now this year, as long as everything's smooth sailing and he doesn't forget how to play baseball or have some Chris Davis type of fall off, Aaron Judge is the MVP this year. And I didn't even talk about the history yet. He was the quickest player in MLB history to reach 300 home runs, 300 career home runs. That's absolutely insane. Like I said, he's already at Barry Bonds-esque levels. He's just phenomenal. And I know I'm a Yankee fan. You guys know this, and I'm really not trying to glaze, incredibly hard. But when you have a player of his caliber, it's just hard to not. Because when we're talking about Aaron Judge and saying that he's the best hitter since Barry Bonds, who a lot of people, myself included, consider to be the greatest baseball player of all time, when you have someone of that caliber, you want to experience every moment because those are moments you're going to want to, tell your kids in the future because your kids are going to look back and they're going to be like, Daddy, who is Aaron Judge? They're going to ask you about it. And I'm, grateful that I get to live in an era where I get to watch Judge play every night, be an incredible role model, for everyone in the Yankees dugout and off the field as well. I get to watch the greatest baseball player of my generation, Aaron Judge. And like I said, undoubtedly, he's been phenomenal. He is 100% the best hitter since Barry Bonds, and I don't know if we're going to see another hitter like him. He's just incredibly dominant, and it's going to be a lot of me broken record-ish stuff, so I'm going to just move on to the next topic. So, Pap, you want to take us into the next topic?
Yeah, man, this is an interesting one. MLB is talking about adding a new rule for the future. And um, some rules in the past have worked, some haven't, some of them are just getting used to, like such as the pitch clock and everything like that, all that good stuff. But they're trying to add a 6 inning minimum rule to starting pitchers. Now, there's a lot that comes in with this. There's a lot to unfold, a lot to unpack. For starters, the main goal, the main focus on this, on adding this rule, is to decrease the amount of injuries to pitchers, to starting pitchers. How they're going to do this, how this logic is implemented into the game because of this rule, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really see how this would exactly reduce the amount of injuries because injuries are going to happen regardless of how many innings you pitch or how many innings you don't pitch. It's just bound to happen, and there's no stopping it. Like nature's going to take its course. They're also talking about exceptions. So there's exceptions to take out the pitcher before he reaches the 6 inning minimum rule. That would be if the pitcher had 100 pitches thrown. if he gave up four or more runs, and obviously if he got hurt, they would take him out. They would be forced to take him out of the game. But like it's just hard to like it's going to take a lot of time. They've already stated that it's going to take many years for them to put this in play, but they really want to focus on allowing starting pitchers to or allowing fans to view starting pitchers, the starting pitcher of the game, when they tune in later on in the game, which doesn't really make any sense to me. Again, this rule is going to take a lot to get past. I feel like this is not something
Hmm.
you can just throw in and say, here, there's a new rule. You guys got to follow this. Every team in the MLB's got to follow this because it's just so hard to even wrap my head around like how this would even be made possible. I don't know, Deej. What's your thoughts on this?
No, yeah, this is something that you can't just spring onto pitchers immediately. Like this is something that you kind of can maybe test and then just kind of get some feedback. I know a lot of pitchers don't even like the pitch clock, so I feel like a lot of pitchers are not going to necessarily like this. The goal is to reduce injuries, but I don't understand how making pitchers throw more and being forced to throw a certain point is going to reduce injuries. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I think that's the whole strategy of baseball because if your starting pitcher has to go 6 innings, that removes an opener strategy, right? You can't use an opener. I know a lot of teams like to use openers, to give a like you can't do bullpen days either. That just is like essentially just kind of removed from the picture. So it removes a lot of strategy from the game. Managers kind of have to be less creative because you just kind of have to hope and rely that, your starting pitcher just shoves that day. And when you have pitchers that just give up like a crap ton of runs, like that's the game right there. That's the game. The four or more runs thing, I mean, like like that's all like give or take. That it's all like preference. So I guess some people I've seen just would prefer it to be more. Some want it to be less, so that way your pitcher is not forced to be up there if they've given up 3 runs, maybe not having a great day command wise. But I don't really like it, and I think Major League Baseball is just trying to do too much with it. I just think the pitch clock we all adjusted to it, so that's fine, whatever. But I think this is just too much. I think they don't need this, but we don't have
Yeah,
a say
no.
in it really.
No, they don't need it at all. It's
Hmm.
just it's just extra rules that they want to add into the game for no reason. Like it doesn't need to be implemented.
Hmm.
They just want people to focus on the starter for the game. Like let's say if Jacob DeGrom or Garrett Cole, those two guys, they're starting their game. They're starting their game. They
Hmm.
want fans to tune in to be able to view them in later innings, which doesn't make any sense. Like if they have a good start, they'll go the extra mile. They could even have the potential of going a complete game. If a
Hmm.
pitcher's having a good start, he'll go deep into the game. But if not, it's not their day.
Yeah.
Like you don't want your starting pitcher to give up multiple runs and have them forced to be out there. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any
I
sense.
another thing too, Major League Baseball, they want to make sure fans see these starters. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of on you because you made the game faster. You added a pitch clock, you made a number of times a pitcher can disengage from the mound. So you're making the game shorter, which, makes fans have a less like time window to tune into the game. Because by the time they tune into the game of what maybe would have used to have been the third or fourth inning, nowadays it's like the seventh inning. It's like a huge difference. Games are like under 2 hours now, maybe averaging 2 hours as maybe that's probably like a lot less than that, maybe, as opposed to what it is back in the day. So, MLB, it's like this double standard here. You gotta pick. You have to pick. And you also at the same time, you need to focus on the safety of these pitchers because that's just the most important thing. That's just the most important thing with all these injuries, especially lately.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot to unpack and stuff about that new rule. But with that being said, let's just hop right into the next topic. This one's gonna be I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. We haven't talked about the Mets in a long time. And that's for many reasons.
For good reason.
For many reasons.
They're good reasons.
Mainly because they haven't really been playing up to par. They went through their peak before All-Star break, and since All-Star break, they haven't really been doing too well. They've been just
And
kind of hanging around the wild card race. but it's been more of the same. And it, you know what? I wish I could say it was because we're facing tough teams, but the toughest part of our schedule hasn't even come. And it's about to come. It's about to rain down hard because the past couple losing a series to the Angels, losing a series to the A's, and not sweeping the Marlins is inexcusable. I mean, those are such easy games. So many opportunities to easily stomp on each of these teams' necks. At least win the series. If we won every series, it may have been a different conversation I may be having with you guys right now. It might be a happy. We might even talk about this right now, but it needs to be something needs to be shed light on this. I was for Grimace. I was for the Grimace era. I liked the hype. I enjoyed the hype it brought to the team. But at a certain point, uh the gimmicks gotta stop. And the gimmicks gotta stop immediately because it's time to focus on playing baseball. Putting the hawk to a girl out there to throw the first pitch. That's just a joke. We're not a
I
joke
thought
of
that
a
was great.
franchise. We're
I
not a
thought that was
joke of a
great.
franchise. We
You
shouldn't
are.
we shouldn't no, we're not. We're not a joke of a franchise. I don't want this to be what we're remembered for. And I hate the fact that uh she came out and threw the pitch. Now, it's not the biggest deal because at the end of the day, the players on the field need to play baseball. And that's what they're gonna have to do over this next coming stretch. They got the Orioles, they got the Padres, and then they got the Diamondbacks. So these three series are either gonna make us or break us. And I know I've been saying that pretty much all year, but this is gonna be a true testament of what this team's really made of and what this team's about. These are gonna be tough, tough series. No game is gonna be a walk in the park. Um, and if we lose each series, then I hate to break it to the rest of the Mets fans in the world, but we're not making the playoffs. This is crucial time in our season, crucial time in our year. So, with without us at least scrapping together a few games, winning at least two series of these next three, I can't see us moving on. I can't see us breaking that third wild card spot because you know what? Regardless of the amount of injuries the Braves have, they're still going to be the Braves. They're still going to be a good team in the NL. It's just bound to happen. So this is going to be a tough stretch for them, and we're just gonna have to see how they do. But with that being said, I'm just gonna turn it over to Matt, and he's gonna lead us into our next topic.
Mm-hmm. All right. So hopefully you guys are still awake. But let's get into the NBA portion. You ready?
Let's go. Let's talk about the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dive deep.
You want to know something crazy before we actually get into the topic? What's your favorite baseball team?
My favorite baseball team,
Yeah, 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 just
obviously
curious.
the Mets.
The
Why?
Mets. My favorite basketball team is the Nets, and they're only one letter off from each other. Did you ever think about that? Isn't that crazy?
No, I don't think about that. Just get into the topic,
The
dude.
Mets and the Nets, and then there's a Jets.
I don't see
That's
where you're going with this.
I just think that's crazy, don't you think?
Sure, sure. I think it's crazy.
The
Go
more you
ahead.
know. The
Go ahead.
more you
Lead us
know.
into the next one.
The more you know. Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, perfect, 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 perfect. So the reason I wanted to touch on that is because we're going to the NBA now. And Zach, what's your thoughts on the Boston Celtics? I'm just curious.
Look, they're going to be a devastating team for years to come. I think as long as the core of them stay healthy and then being Drew Holiday, Jalen Brown, and Jason Tatum, if they stay healthy, they can win many more rings upcoming in the future. Um, dude, they're just ridiculous.
Hmm.
That's all I really need to say about the
Yeah.
Celtics.
No, no, I totally agree. I honestly think that if the Celtics, the only thing that's stopping them is injuries. I do think they're going to go back to back because I just don't think people understand how scary the Celtics actually are. That starting five of Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis. Holy hell. That is ridiculous. That is so good, which is why I think the media is possibly trying to break up the Boston Celtics. Now it's crazy. You can put the tinfoil hats on, right? But Lou Williams appears to think so as well. In an interview, he was talking about his little theory about it. Basically was emphasizing that Jason Tatum gets a ton of criticism. And it was evident because we posted a clip of Jason Tatum. Why wasn't he playing the Olympics? We posted a clip about that. And a lot of people on Instagram, they had some fun words to
Some
say to
choice
us.
words to say,
They
yeah.
they had some very strong words, and we just strong words, fun words, let's put it like that. Some fun words, basically just saying Tatum is trash, and it almost proves our point even further. So constant criticism on Jason Tatum. He can't be a number one guy. You know what I mean? Like he's not good enough. He can't lead a team. Jaylen Brown, being left off Team USA, maybe that puts a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he's being overshadowed. Derek White being chosen over him, maybe that puts another chip on Jaylen Brown's shoulder, and maybe it puts a wedge between him and Derek White, and maybe between the front office or Jason Tatum. It just all these conspiracies Lou Will is bringing up, and it makes sense. And he's not just pulling it out of his ass. He's not pulling it out of nowhere because the media did the same thing to the Brooklyn Nets. They did the same exact thing. The Brooklyn Nets, Sean Marks had built the greatest big three the NBA has ever seen. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Undoubtedly the best big three the NBA has ever seen. But the media, Stephen A. Smith was a big factor in it, helped tear down that big three, helped tear down that team. All I remember, as a Brooklyn Nets fan, is, people talking about how crazy Kyrie was. That's all I heard every day. I never got to hear a simple conversation of, yo, this Nets team is so good. They're going to win a championship. Nope. All I heard was, oh, this Nets team, Kyrie's crazy. He won't take the vaccine. James Harden doesn't want to be in Brooklyn. He never wanted to be. He wanted to be with the Sixers all along. Kevin Durant, he's sick and tired of these two guys. He wants out. That's all I heard. In the 4 years Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were Brooklyn Nets, that's all I heard. In the year and a half or year that James Harden was a Brooklyn Net, that's all I heard. Never heard positive things. You can blame the front office, you can blame it, but James Harden came out and said that what you see in the media is not always what you see, hinting at they're always trying to blow things out of proportion. Kevin Durant said the same thing. Kyrie Irving said the same thing. And look, the media won. And I have a feeling that they're going to try and do this with the Boston Celtics. And that's really all I have on it. I don't have any more, clues or like agendas to push, but I just think that it could happen, and that's why I think the only way that the Celtics don't win the NBA Finals is if they get hurt. And now I'm adding if the media just decides to break them up because we've seen how strong the NBA media could be. So, Celtics fans, enjoy every minute, enjoy that chip. Not saying it's going to be your last for a while, but if the media gets its way, then you're in for a scary sight. That's all. It's just a conspiracy theory. Tinfoil hat, right, Zach? Just got to put it on. Well, I want to know your thoughts about that.
About you know what, dude? I
Was
haven't really been up to date with this. I haven't really been up to date with the media trying to break up the Celtics. But after you just displayed that knowledge on me, dude, that's the only way that they can tear down this Celtics team is
Mhm,
to try to break them up from within because the core of this team is so strong, and
mhm,
then you got so many other pieces to this team that make this team the dominant players that they are. Like I mean,
mhm,
like you got guys like Derek White, who's fantastic, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis when he's healthy is a demon. And a bunch of other role players on that team that make the squad just all the more dangerous. So if you can't beat them from within and they still find a way to stick together and to be strong and to keep pushing forward and be persevere, then dude, I mean, I could see this Celtics team winning so many more championships
mhm,
because that's what's just gonna happen. I mean,
mhm.
but hopefully
Yeah.
the media doesn't get its way because it's going to be interesting to see what kind of run this Celtics team could even go on. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
dude,
but
crazy.
they have to block it out. Jason Tatum especially. I think if there is anyone on the Celtics team that would leave, I think Jason Tatum would be the last of it. As much crap as he gets, he's the face of that team. But it worked for the Nets. They broke the Nets up, and as much as that pained me, the Celtics just need to suck it up. Whether there is drama or there's not, I mean, they just won a championship. I'm going to assume there's not. They need to suck it up and just kind of move forward with it. But then again, as I said, this is all just a conspiracy theory, the tinfoil hat segment. So we're going to move past it. But if you agree, let me know. Let me know. But that's all for NBA. That's all for NBA. You ready for the fun one?
For the fun one.
Jonathan Stevens, we don't need you. And I hope you're listening to this because we're going to talk. We're going to talk football. You ready?
I'm ready for football. Let's go.
It's the only segment for football we have today. Well, mainly football. And we're going to talk about the best, Dak Prescott. Round of applause for Dak Prescott, everyone. What's your thoughts on Dak Prescott, Zach?
I think he's a great regular season quarterback.
Okay, I shouldn't have asked you actually. So plain and simple, the Dallas Cowboys need to re-sign Dak Prescott. They do. They got to extend him. They have to. You're making a face.
They have to extend him.
They have to.
That's it. You're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
I am a
This
Dallas
is
Cowboys fan. Yankees and Cowboys fan, love it. Love it. Isn't that's just a beautiful pair, isn't it?
it's a beautiful pair.
It's
It's
a
a
beautiful
beautiful
pair.
pair. Yeah.
For delusion. I love it. I get to be as delusional as I want and no one can say anything. As
So
annoying.
why do the Cowboys need to re-sign Dak?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm first off, I appreciate that you actually asked the question. So
Mhm.
thank you. So I appreciate it. For taking part in the segment and providing some great analysis to it. So, just sorry, little throwback. Remember that? That was a fun one.
Yeah, I do remember that. But
That was a
go
fun
ahead,
pod.
go ahead, let's hear your deep dive analysis on
Yeah,
why they
no,
need to get him back.
they need to re-sign Dak Prescott because they don't have a choice. They just don't. If you watch Trey Lance, obviously you didn't, but if you watch Trey Lance the last two preseason games, you can just see that any hope that the Cowboys might have had for maybe potentially replacing Dak just kind of went out the window. Okay. Trey Lance is not the answer. Maybe a team like the Raiders can take a hit on him, maybe. But right now, the Cowboys need Dak Prescott. They do. He's their guy. I understand there's this whole thing that he can't perform in the playoffs. I understand that, but I don't want to put the blame solely on Dak because he had his best year of his career last season, top two in MVP, right behind Lamar. Whether you like it or not, and I'm not just saying this because maybe I'm a little biased, he is a top five quarterback in this league. He is. He is. If you want to say no, I'll accept number six. Okay. That's the lowest I'll go. But he at least is a top six, but I'm going to say top five quarterback in this league. He is. And I'm not going to get into a quarterback debate with you because I don't think either of us have room to talk. That's what we need Jonathan Stevens for. Jonathan Stevens can give his insight. But the Cowboys need to bring back Dak Prescott. And he gets so much hate, which is another reason why I want to bring it up. Because he gets probably the most hate out of any NFL player. And he's a tremendous player. He's a tremendous guy on the field, tremendous guy off the field, especially. But he's just a phenomenal quarterback. And I think any team, if a team were to snag him from the Cowboys, that team would improve tremendously. They would. They would. And I think Dak is just only going to get better. Maybe some people say that he just had his best year of his career last year. He did. Maybe that's where he peaks, but I think he's going to get better. And I think especially this year, I think Jerry Jones didn't do anything for the Cowboys. He didn't. Um, Obviously it was kind of a wash, but I think it's kind of like, a last dance type of season because CD could be gone too. And I didn't even talk about CD. They got to pay CD as well. Jerry Jones, take the wallet out, give them both blank checks, and let's do it. Find a way to bring back Micah Parsons as well in the future. You just got to do it. You have to lock them up. There's no identity to the Dallas Cowboys team without those three guys. But right now, we can put Micah Parsons to the side and we're going to focus solely on Dak and CD. They are the Cowboys, and you need both of them. You do. Because if you don't bring Dak back, who's going to throw the ball? It's as simple as that. Because you were asking me before, why Dak? Why Dak? You know why? Because he throws the football. He throws it pretty damn well. He's pretty good at it.
Look, I'm not discrediting anything that Dak has done for the Cowboys or has done in the past. Nothing like that. I'm just saying I'm kind of along the lines of that narrative, like that narrative in my head about how he can't perform in the playoffs every year that I've been watching. Now, I'm not an avid football fan. I can't say that I watch game to game every year. I see what's going on. I pay attention to who's winning MVP, who's winning this, who's what's the top team in the NFL. Like I don't pay attention to the league like that because I don't watch football like that.
Hmm.
But I'm just I guess I'm with the line of casuals that are watching the Cowboys and have seen the past 2 years in the playoffs, specifically for me, how he just hasn't performed. Like they could have a great season, but they don't go any farther than like the first game or
Hmm.
whatever. So it's just rough for me to really put a lot of input on this because I don't know as much as
Hmm.
you do
Yeah.
on football.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's just my thoughts
Yeah.
on Dak. I think
Um,
CD Lamb. I think I think he's to me, and you could tell me shit batshit crazy, but I think CD to me is over Dak in priority of signings.
I think a lot of people would probably agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I think if you put Dak, CD, and Micah Parsons, together, and Jerry Jones was like, we can only sign two people, I think the majority, the latter, would go CD and Micah Parsons because a lot of people think Dak is replaceable, but we've saw, Trey Lance, not. I don't, he's not the answer. Maybe people thought there was still some potential. First round pick, believe he was the second or third overall selection. Blanking a little bit, but he clearly, I mean, I think another team should take a chance on him. Maybe where he can play every day, maybe blossom. But on the Dallas Cowboys, he's not going to do it. And I think Dak Prescott is so like just so obviously the answer. But if people say he chokes in the playoffs, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they choke in the playoffs, but they're still regarded as some of the best quarterbacks in the league. So where's that same energy that they give to Dak Prescott? Where's the same energy? Lamar was the MVP of the league, sucks in the playoffs. So where's the same energy? That's what I want to know. I just don't know why he gets so much hate. They got to bring him back. Put all the hate aside, all the trash talk. He's genuinely a very good quarterback, and he makes this Dallas Cowboys team better. Simple. They got to bring him back. Jerry Jones, give him the paycheck. Get CeeDee Lamb too while you're at it. Call it a day. Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Where is it? Hold on.
What are you about to pull out? Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
I should have had this on the whole segment. I should have had this on the whole segment. The cowboy hat. Should have had it on the whole segment.
Shoulda. I mean, speaking of you touched base on the Ravens. I just want to put a little thing out there. I'm 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 really excited to see Derrick Henry and Lamar be on the same team. It's just a little thing out there. It has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to say that. I'm excited to see the two of them coexist on the same team because it's going to be a problem for the league. But
Should have been a cowboy.
should have been anything. But with that being said, let's D just lead us into our. It's about that time. It's about that time. It's about that time.
Oh my
Deej,
God.
lead us into our last topic of the night.
Last topic. What the people I've been waiting for, give them. Okay. So now we're finally gonna check my headset. Now we're finally gonna dive in a little bit into the Noah Lyles, Tyreek Hill thing. So for those that don't know, Zach, I'm gonna fill you and all of America in, right? Noah Lyles, the fastest man in the world currently, pretty much. American track runner, absolutely phenomenal, fast. He is super fast. That's all I can say, right? So, a while ago when FIBA was going on, like the FIBA World Cup for basketball, Noah Lyles just kind of like came out and he was talking about the NBA for some reason. and he said, like, tell you, okay, I gotta like think how to phrase this. Noah Lyles was Noah Lyles was talking about the NBA and NBA players calling themselves world champions after they win the NBA finals. And I don't know what like caused him to do this, what caused him to have this conversation out of nowhere, but he is essentially just not a fan of NBA players calling themselves world champions. So he's like, world champions of what? The United States? And that sparked a whole online debate. Now, before I go any further, what do you think, Zach? Do you think NBA players have a right to call themselves world champions if they win the NBA finals?
100%.
What do you think?
The NBA season's is a long year to begin with. Um, and the players they worked hard to get to this moment, to get to the mountaintop and cement their team and their names in history. Um, and they have every right to call themselves world champions. I don't see
Hmm.
why they wouldn't have a right
Hmm.
to not call themselves
Yeah,
world champs.
I just think the whole debate is the fact that the NBA is an American league. But another debate is, they're playing against the top competition from everyone around the world. Everyone around the world, the best players in the world are in the NBA. So that's why the whole argument, like, yeah, they deserve to call themselves world champions, right? I understand Noah Lyles' argument. Don't know why he said it. I don't know what caused him to do so. I understand his argument, but I also do think that they should have, you know, some respect, and I think that they should be allowed to say world champions. They should, because it's the best league in the world, hands down. It just is. It's the toughest league. It's the best league, best players. They can call themselves world champions. So I don't know why Noah Lyles is so pressed about it. But the reason I'm talking about that is because Noah Lyles then started talking some trash about Anthony Edwards, right? Essentially saying no disrespect because Adidas, the company he signed with, invited him to an Anthony Edwards shoe event. And Noah Lyles took offense to this for some odd reason. He's like, why does he get his own shoe? He's never been to an NBA finals. He's a great player, but why does he get his own shoe? And it was like a whole thing, like for some reason out of nowhere, just trashing Anthony Edwards. So what's Noah Lyles' beef with the NBA? No clue. He just loves to just rip on the NBA. And if there's one person I wouldn't rip on, it would probably be Anthony Edwards because that brother's got aura, okay, and he'll just clap back. But the reason I gotta give the backstory, gotta give the lore, because Tyreek Hill recently stepped in. Tyreek Hill started defending the NBA and NFL players, and he essentially called out Noah Lyles. He called him out, right? Noah Lyles, for those that didn't see, was sick during one of his last races. He had COVID. He called out Noah Lyles for pretending to be sick, and then he ended his call out saying that he could beat Noah Lyles in a race. Now, Tyreek ran track in high school, and for those that do watch the NFL, he is fast as hell. They call him the cheetah for a reason. And Noah, in an interview, pretended like he had no idea who Tyreek Hill was. He's like, "Who's that cheetah guy?" Now, you know that he's called Cheetah, but you don't know who Tyreek Hill is? Okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? 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 Like that just makes sense. Like that's like saying like I know All Rise, but I don't know Aaron Judge. Like, come on. Like there's he knows who Tyreek is. He knows who Tyreek is. Noah's just being corny. He's just pretending for the video. Because then Noah makes another interview and essentially just like kind of blows it over. And he responds to Tyreek and essentially says Tyreek is just clout chasing and that if he's serious about it and not just talking on the internet, he will race Tyreek Hill on the track. So we got some beef. Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles are going back and forth. There's more things that I couldn't fit, but I did do some research. Tyreek Hill's top speed is 23.34 miles per hour. Noah Lyles' top speed is 27.09 miles per hour. So if we're looking at the two's top speed, Noah Lyles kind of beats him in that aspect. I know a lot of people say Tyreek would absolutely dust Noah Lyles, but if we're looking straight at their two top speed, the fastest they've ever ran before, Noah Lyles got him beat. But I don't doubt that Tyreek would give him a pretty good fight on the track. I don't, because he's the cheetah for a reason. But it's just very interesting. I don't know why Noah Lyles just secretly hates the NBA and its players. It's just very odd to me, especially, you're an American Olympian, you should be representing this country with class, and Anthony Edwards and all the other guys on the NBA team. They're technically Olympians too. They helped give our country gold. So why why friendly fire? You know what I mean? I just don't understand what the point of causing beef with some of our country's greatest athletes, professional athletes. I don't understand it. You know, People say Noah's being corny. I think he is. If Zach, if you have the opportunity to watch some of his interviews, I think you'll agree he's kind of corny. Um, but I just don't understand it. I don't. And that's really all I have on it. And thank you guys for staying to the end to listening to it. But it's just very interesting. Very interesting. But that's the full story. I gave you the full timeline of everything. Hopefully, we can come back. We can come back to this and we can see, who wins this race if it happens. I'm going to have to go Noah Lyles, only just straight up top speed. I have to. I just have to.
Yeah, I don't doubt Tyreek would give him a run for his money, like you said, but it's just gonna come down to I don't know. I honestly don't know. Tyreek is one of the fastest people I've seen, I've watched in any sport. Then Noah Lyles. I mean, I haven't really been educated on him up until literally right now. Like I haven't paid attention to I don't watch track, I don't pay attention to
Hmm.
track. Um so yeah, but I don't I again like I said, like I don't understand what his beef is with the NBA. I don't understand what his beef is with Tyreek Hill, honestly. Like I don't get why he's just trying to come after uh these first of all, the whole NBA as a whole and Tyreek Hill. Like it's just it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense his timing on it too. Like why now? Like why
I know. Yeah.
of all times, why now? Like you just I would just stick to focusing on track and what you do, your sport. Everybody has their own thing and track is his thing. So if he wins a medal in track, if he wins gold in track, nobody's gonna bat an eye. They're just gonna be like, no, Lyles is that guy. Like he did it again. He won gold again. Just like if Tyreek Hill wins the Super Bowl, Tyreek Hill's back on top, and he did it with a
Hmm.
different team. It's the same thing. You're champion of your sport. You're the best there is of your sport. So it just
World
doesn't make sense.
champion? Would he be allowed to call himself a world champion?
Who knows? Who knows? Who
Noah
knows? I think he
Lyles, would
should.
he would he I agree. I think you should be allowed to call yourself the world champion in the hardest sports league in the world. I do.
You
I,
got players
I
from all
exactly.
over in all sports. The
Hmm.
best players that could potentially be in a league are in a league. So it's a little ridiculous on his part. Um, but I'm interested to see what your guys' thoughts on it are. Do you guys agree with us? Do you agree with Noah Lyles? Just let us know in the comments down below. But with that being said, that is the end of episode 29. Again, appreciate all you guys' love and support on all platforms, even Instagram, which, wasn't so nice, had some choice words about our Jason Tatum video. You know what?
And
It is what it is. But again,
at 100 TikTok followers, we'll be doing a giveaway.
100 tick. Okay, four
Zach's just
away.
learning about it for the first time.
We are four away. Please, if you're not following us on TikTok, go follow up.
If you want to
If
win our giveaway, follow us on TikTok.
sure, it
You're
would mean the world to us. 100
you're
followers is a
automatically entered. That's right, yeah.
100 followers is a big milestone for us. It's a big accomplishment for us. So I just again, if you're not following or you're not subscribed to the channel, please go do that. It means the world to us. But yeah, we will catch you guys in episode 30 next week.